TikTok, with its viral dance routines and political activism videos, is a favorite among teenagers worldwide. With over 2 billion downloads and $17 billion in revenue last year, the app is extremely successful and influential. But its exploding popularity has also raised red flags. In the US, officials are investigating whether TikTok is a threat to national security. There are concerns that the data collected by the app, owned by the Chinese firm ByteDance, could be accessed by Beijing. The company denies any connection with the Chinese government. But Donald Trump is threatening to ban the app in the US.
We're looking at TikTok. We may be banning TikTok. We may be doing some other things. There are a couple of options, but a lot of things are happening. So we'll see what happens. But we are looking at a lot of alternatives with respect to TikTok.
Reports on Friday indicated that one of the alternatives being considered is an order for ByteDance to give up ownership of TikTok. Potential buyers are reportedly already in talks to take over the app's US operations, including tech giant Microsoft. A national security review of TikTok is expected to be presented to Trump in the coming days. Its results may further sour already deteriorating ties between the US and China. With tensions already running high on trade and the coronavirus pandemic, cybersecurity concerns are now further straining relations between the two powers.
Now let's bring in our business correspondent Jens Corte in New York. So what power does Trump actually have to put pressure on a Chinese company like that?
Well, I mean, U.S. President Donald Trump probably could not directly order TikTok or the mother company to sell the U.S. assets or operations, for example. But as we heard, he could say, OK, we're going to ban TikTok, and then they could decide to sell, for example, the U.S. operations to Microsoft. And then maybe U.S. President Donald Trump would or take this order back. So, yeah, that's probably how the whole deal could work.
And what is behind the American government's mistrust of this app, TikTok?
Well, I mean, they have charges for quite some time that TikTok is actually collecting privacy data from its users. So we have those accusations, those charges, by the way, not just in the United States, but also in the UK or in Germany. TikTok itself always was saying that, well, for example, with the US operations, all the servers are also US based. But still, there were some suspicions that even if the servers are in the US, that does not necessarily mean that data has not been transferred to Beijing.
And looking at the business aspect of things here, we've heard reports that Microsoft might be trying to buy the U.S. shares of TikTok. Would this be a good deal for Microsoft?
Well, I mean, TikTok is incredibly successful. Within a very short time span, they just recently surpassed 2 billion downloads of the TikTok ad worldwide. As far as we know, there are estimates that TikTok, the entire operation, might be worth about $50 billion. So only the US operations would go for less, and that is money that Microsoft could clearly afford. But on the other side, then Microsoft also might be right in between those two struggling superpowers, the United States and China. So we will wait and see if Microsoft is really following that path.
DW business correspondent Jens Corte in New York, thank you. 3 people have been charged in connection with the hacking of prominent Twitter accounts 2 weeks ago. Prosecutors say a 17-year-old from Florida in the U.S. was the mastermind behind the hack that duped people into making Bitcoin donations. It affected some of the platform's most high-profile accounts, including former U.S. President Barack Obama, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden, Microsoft founder Bill Gates, as well as some companies' accounts like Apple and Uber. Twitter said the hackers targeted some of its employees who had access to its internal systems.